everyone. I know that today in class we were able to do an example source card together, but I wanted to make a screen recording to show you how to write an example note card. Hopefully you're viewing this video on Tuesday night so that you can feel better prepared Wednesday in class when I'm not there to write your first set of note cards. Remember that your set 1 note cards, numbers 1 through 12, are due Thursday in class, along with your source A card. But remember, not all 12 note cards have to be written from source A. You can divvy up your note cards however you want among your sources. Some people will write 4 note cards from source A, others could write 12 note cards from source A. It really just depends. So with that, some of you may have a source B card as well by Thursday. Now, we did our example source card together. We had found this example source from American Psychological Association. We wrote our source card from it. It's worth noting, guys, do your research at home. If you know that you're going to be writing your note cards in class Wednesday, research tonight. And I say that because the school Wi-Fi blocks many good websites. So it's worth finding a good source tonight, exporting it to Notability so that it's there for you tomorrow in class. Otherwise, you'll get very frustrated trying to access blocked websites. A good way to export to Notability is to first click this, Show Reader View, and then it gives you a nice ad-free kind of layout, and then export to Notability. The reason I like keeping all sources in Notability is just so that, if you need to, you can easily go back to it. If you needed to get more source evidence from it, or if you needed to kind of, I forgot to write down the year of a study. Well, I can go back to my source and easily find that. Also, you can annotate, obviously, color code your annotations. Anything that supports what you think will be your first main point, designate it one color. Your second main point, designate it another color. But I wanted to show you how I would write a note card paraphrasing these sentences here that I've highlighted in pink. The vast majority of your note cards need to be paraphrased evidence from sources. Paraphrased meaning you have rewritten the fact, the information, in your own words. Even though we don't put quotes around paraphrased information, we still have to parenthetically cite it within our paper. In terms of how many direct quotes you can have in your entire paper from sources, 1 to 2 direct quotes per page, really. So if you're only allowed like 5 or so direct quotes from sources in your entire paper, again, the vast majority of your note cards should be paraphrased facts. So let's take a look at this. Pretend I'm writing a paper with the thesis that playing video games offers benefits. Playing video games may also help children develop problem-solving skills, the authors said. The more adolescents reported playing strategic video games, such as role-playing games, the more they improved in problem-solving and school grades the following year, according to a long-term study published in 2013. Children's creativity was also enhanced by playing any kind of video game, including violent games. So I'm going to go here back to my example note cards. I have my source card there. I'm going to pretend I haven't done this yet today. Erase all of this. And again, the first thing you do for a source is you write your source card for it. After that, you read the source, you annotate it for any valuable source evidence that is good and worthy of being included in your paper that supports your thesis. So I have, this is the way that we set it up. We set it up. This is the way we set up our note cards. We had topic at the top, we had our open circle, and we had our open parentheses down at the bottom. Of course, I'm going to put the source letter, upper right-hand corner. Any note card I wrote from source A will have that letter at the top. And then, of course, I know my source's parenthetical citation is Bowen. Now, I already know the topic for this note card. It's increased problem-solving skills. And I try not to look at the original source when I write a paraphrased note card for it. I really try to, rely on my own brain to recall the information, just because I don't want to keep that original wording. Okay, so let's start off with results from, and I do want you to write this example note card in your research paper binder. So pause the video, go get your research paper binder, write this example note card. Maybe I'll take it for a grade when I return Thursday to see who actually did it. Results from a 2013 long-term study revealed that more video game play correlated to, they used increase, right, in the original source, I think. So maybe I'll use the word enhanced. Enhanced problem-solving skills and creativity. Oh, and then they said something about strategic video games, right? That was like a key component. So I don't want to omit that. Results from a 2013 long-term study revealed that more video game play, more strategic video game play, correlated to enhanced problem-solving skills and creativity, as well as, and then they said better school grades the following year, I think. Improved grades in school the following academic year. And some people like to put their parenthetical citation here at the end of the sentence because that's how it would appear in your paper. So yeah, this is just a kind of a quick, rough paraphrase of how I would paraphrase those two sentences from the source. Again, I kept the information, I preserved the core fact, but I rephrased it into my own words, okay? It's worth noting that if you choose to write down a direct quote, the best direct quotes are statements said by experts. So if you went back to, I keep doing that, but I need to go here. If you went back to the source, Isabella Granick, this lady here, she's a PhD. She's also the lead author of an article. She lives in the Netherlands, but she's quoted as saying, a few things throughout this article. If I wanted to directly quote what she said, the important thing to remember is that you need to include her first and last name and then her credentials. So you wouldn't literally put the word credentials, obviously, but who is a professor of such and such at, whatever her credentials are, you need an appositive phrase here following her name, stating why she's legit. What are her credentials? Sometimes you even have to Google the person, but if it's a good source, they've done the work for you. They've included their credentials in the article. And then you would write her quote, whatever she said, and then the parenthetical changes a little bit. Anytime you directly quote someone else besides the source author, it's QTDN and then the source author's name. So you don't put the speaker of the quote, you don't put their last name in the parenthetical, but you put the first and last name of the speaker of the quote in the text of the sentence to introduce it, QTDN, and then the source author's name. But again, your direct quotes should be few and far between on your note cards. I kind of tell my juniors, don't be lazy with your research and just plop a direct quote onto every note card and say, I'll paraphrase later, either when it comes to my outline or typing my paper. No, I want you to do your paraphrasing now on the front end. And that way, guys, really, if it's almost like 2 steps removed. If you paraphrase now onto your note card, and then maybe you tweak your paraphrase a little, to make it more fluid when it goes inside your paper, it's almost 2 degrees removed then from the original wording, which ensures a better quality paraphrase that deviates from the original wording. So hopefully that helped. You kind of see that really I'm just looking for 1 sentence, 2 sentences per note card. Again, if a sentence does not support your thesis statement, you have no business writing it on a note card. This is, your note cards. The strength of your note cards are a direct reflection of how substantive your paper will be. So you don't want to write something that's inconsequential on your note card. And again, these topics are important. Everybody will have the topic of background info, right? Background facts that would work well in your intro paragraph. And then that's the importance of knowing what your 3 main points could be. Kind of guide your research accordingly. All right, guys. Well, I will see you in class Thursday. You need to have completed note cards 1 through 12 and at least source A card. Again, some of you may have a source B card or source C card as well. And I will see you guys Thursday. Email me with any questions that you may have.